Hi, this is Sweet Dreams Honey. The first thing I felt wasn't confusion, but a deep primal wrongness. It settled in my bones before my eyes even opened. I was awake. It was the dead of night, that thick, syrupy darkness where sounds are swallowed whole. My bed hadn't moved. The familiar weight of the comforter was the same. The slight dip in the mattress, where I always lie, was still there. Yet, something was profoundly incorrect. I was facing a wall. This, in itself, wasn't strange, but it was the wrong wall. For years, I had slept facing the window, the faint glow of the distant city skyline a familiar comfort. Now my nose was inches from cold, textured plaster, a wall I had never, ever slept toward. My first thought was simple. I must have turned in my sleep. A restless night, perhaps. I tried to roll over, back to my usual side, but a strange inertia held me. It wasn't physical. It was a powerful sense of suggestion, a silent command to stay put. As my eyes adjusted to the gloom, the details of the room began to sharpen and the wrongness intensified. There was a door, a solid oak door with a tarnished brass knob, set into the wall where my bookshelf had always stood. My bookshelf, with its leaning towers of paperbacks and dog-eared classics, was gone, vanished. In its place, this uninvited, silent sentinel. I scanned the room, my heart starting to thrum in nervous rhythm against my ribs. The light switch, the one I could flick with my little finger from bed, was now near the ceiling, impossibly high, almost touching the crown molding. It was as if the room was built for someone much, much taller. The wall I was facing felt closer too. The space seemed to have compressed, the dimensions subtly but undeniably altered. It was like waking up in a photograph of my room, one that had been distorted, stretched, and rearranged by an unseen hand. The air was heavy, still, and carried a faint, unfamiliar scent, like damp soil and old paper. The silence was no longer peaceful. It was watchful. It felt like the room was holding its breath, waiting for me to notice, waiting for me to understand. And then the realization dawned, cold and sharp as a shard of glass. I hadn't turned in my sleep. The room had. The room had shifted, rotated on some silent, impossible axis while I was unconscious. It had quietly reconfigured itself around me, moving walls, swapping furniture, changing its very architecture. This wasn't my room anymore, not really. It was a new version, a replacement. And the most terrifying part, the absolute certainty that settled over me, was that this was not a mistake. This was intentional. Whatever force had twisted my reality, it wasn't chaotic. It was precise. It expected me to wake up here, facing this new wall, in this new configuration. It expected me to accept it without question. This wasn't just a change, it was a correction. This was where I was supposed to be now. This was the new direction of my life, and the walls had moved to make sure I followed it. I lay there, motionless, staring at the blank plaster, suddenly understanding that the nightmare wasn't that the room had changed. The nightmare was that it expected me to change with it. And I had a chilling feeling that I had no choice at all.